Hello everyone, I'm Krasi. Today I'll talk about the coronavirus, which is bothering everyone now suddenly, which is coming from China, which has to do with, which has flu-like symptoms, which is considered deadly, and which is afflicting mainly the lungs. I will give you my astrological reasoning, and I will also give you remedies, astrological remedies. Now, to tell you where it comes from, and this is very important in order to have the right diagnosis. Now, the coronavirus was, if you remember, we had two eclipses. One was on the 26th of December solar, and then we had the lunar on the 11th of January. Both were very, very serious. And when I was analyzing these eclipses, and I will show you the chart in a second, I was mentioning that they would create diseases. And this is because of the particular watch where they took place, and also the afflicted countries. Now, not only the eclipses, as solely the eclipses matter in this particular case, but we also have Saturn and Pluto conjunction. And this is a very serious conjunction, which is has long-lasting influences. This conjunction, as I told you earlier, has been taking place since Saturn entered the sign of Sagittarius, which was November 2017. Basically, at the moment Saturn entered, he already started exchanging energies with Pluto. So my analysis at that time was that Saturn-Pluto conjunction would fasten the agenda of the matrix for enslavement of the humanity. And I was also mentioning when I was analyzing the eclipse, and I'm going to share my screen with you. This is better to give you my reasoning with the screen. Okay, look, so this is the chart of the eclipse. So what we're having here is Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and we're having Saturn invisible. Invisible Saturn is hidden agenda, and Saturn is ruling Capricorn. Saturn is about the royal power. Saturn is the sign of power, but Pluto is the secretive powers. Pluto, remember, is ruling the 8th house. Pluto is ruling every secretive matter that can take place in the world, and also very, very powerful sign. The power of Pluto is beyond comprehension. And when they're two together, and this already started in November 2017, we see how the governments are fastening the agenda of enslavement of the people. And you can see that at the moment when they had the exact conjunction, this process was fastened tremendously, and there was a hidden process taking place behind our backs. And at that point, in several videos, I was mentioning that this could result in disease. Now, and this disease, when you read now all over the media, was absolutely, when analyzed by medics, this coronavirus typically is man-made, for sure, beyond any doubt. It's a man-made, and it's something that was happening for a while behind our backs, like a biohazard weapon. Now, what happened with the eclipse? This thing, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, was triggering, of course, the process which already started in November 2017. And the eclipse did what? The eclipse was like exactly activated enormously this particular conjunction. Why it was activated? Also because Jupiter was invisible and not really very much helpful in this particular situation. So the eclipses activated this, and we had a disease. Now I will explain you also from astrological point of view which planets rule this disease, how all this happens. Now, very important to tell you is that indeed the moon, especially when afflicted and in a particular place in the zodiac, the moon is ruling the lungs. So this is disease which first is afflicting and is damaging people's lungs and respiratory system. All this is, of course, related to the moon very much. And then what we have is the afflicted moon severely during the eclipse, on the 26th of December, and then on the 10th, 11th of January. Not only that, astrologically, this is just perfectly to be seen. But then Saturn is the planet which has the nature of moist and cold. So any disease which can originate from incidental exposure can occur with the influence of Saturn. And you see here Saturn and Pluto, and Saturn is invisible. So rheumatism, bronchitis, asthma, any respiratory disease can be caused by Saturn. So beyond any doubt, Saturn, Pluto, Moon, this particular combination is responsible for the outburst of this disease. Of course, this was heavily influenced and activated by the eclipses beyond any doubt. And you can see my previous videos I've been talking about for quite a few times. Now, of course, we couldn't know exactly what are the secret rulers cooking behind our backs, but definitely it is outburst of disease, which I've been mentioning about. Now, what is here? How long would this take, and what are the remedies? We don't know. I'm telling you, we don't know, because unfortunately, Saturn-Pluto conjunction is something that happens rarely. When activated, it can take a while. It can take quite a while, really long time, until these energies are being resolved. However, there is a hope, certainly, because look what is happening here. And this is like a good omen, mentioning in the ancient Babylonian cuneiform scripts. Now, when you're having Venus in this particular position above the eclipse and on angular position, she can reverse the bad. So here I have the hope that this is going to be resolved, particularly resolved after we have the time of the vernal equinox. And now I'm going to show you my other map, other chart. 1 second. Now I'm showing you, I think this is the same map, apologies. So this is the chart of the vernal equinox day. What is it? This is the most important day in the astronomically for the humanity, because we're having activated the tropical point, the point of the vernal equinox. What is this meaning? This is meaning that before the sun enters the point of the vernal equinox, we see to detect where the first lunar crescent will be seen, will take place. And it is happening, of course, in the sign of Pisces. And this was done since the most ancient Mesopotamian Sumerian times. So you can see here, the sun entered the point Aquarius, and this is the first lunar crescent before the sun enters Pisces. Where is the point of the vernal equinox? And I will tell you that this is the most important day of the year in ancient Babylon. During this time, people and gods would celebrate together. They would, these were the very famous festivals, Akitu, where the gods from the different cities that they would be ruling would gather in Babylon, and Jupiter, Marduk was ruling Babylon. Venus, Ishtar would come from Uruk, and they would really celebrate because this was the day which would show how the whole year to come will look like. And this day is 25th of February, the most important day of the year, the day of the vernal equinox, when the moon enters the point of the vernal equinox before the sun enters it. So what we see here is promising to me, and I really have good hope that we will manage quite fast to forget about this disease, hopefully. So what we have here, as usual, the moon is pointing in the 5th degree Pisces, which is indeed the point of the vernal equinox for our era. But what we have here is at that very moment, Venus is creating conjunction with the moon. And this is a very good omen. This is showing a good, better new beginning for the people. And on the other, also Jupiter is visible, and he hopefully is softening the very heavy energies of Pluto. So this chart, in relation to this particular disease, is quite promising that 25th of February will launch a new period, new beginning, new hopes for us, and we will be able to forget. And I hope this is that because of this particular chart, which shows to be quite positive, I hope that this coronavirus is not going to turn into pandemic virus. So these are my hopes. Of course, let me tell you that Saturn-Pluto conjunction is something that takes a very long time to resolve. And we still might be suffering from the consequences of it, which are already have been activated since the conjunction really took place on the sky. It was 2017 November, and because we just analyzed that this disease has Saturn lunar nature, what I will tell you I consider to be very important remedy. The remedies comes, of course, from the planet. The planets which create the disease will give you also the remedies. There is nothing in the nature which create difficulties not to come also as a solution from the nature. So that when we're having difficulty, when we're having issue coming from the universe, allowed by the creator, certainly there is a solution in the universe. There might be many solutions. I know a few, and I will tell you that we certainly need to see Saturn in lunar measures to help our health, to help our bodies, to help our immune systems, because certainly this is the moon is also ruling the people's immune system, and certainly there is a must for us to support our immune systems. How? First of all, let's see Saturn. Saturn is ruling the very famous, very ancient herb, which is Nigella sativa. There are plenty of videos on YouTube on how Nigella sativa is helping people, but I will give you a more understandable explanation. Nigella sativa is a beautiful flower, and this is which contains the black cumin seeds. And the people who are Muslim know that in the Quran, the Holy Quran, the Prophet Muhammad is saying that Nigella sativa will not only not bring death from their grave, so basically it's healing every disease. Nigella sativa is pressed like within a cold press, and people extract oil from it, and the oil is called black seed oil or Nigella sativa oil. And this particular oil is ruled by Saturn, partially by Pluto, definitely, because the oil has quite dark color. And this oil will help for the Saturnine cause of the diseases. Another thing, of course, is the part that Pluto is causing. And here I believe that Pluto, let's take herbs which are ruled by Pluto. For example, if you take simply the ginger, who is very Martian, you know how spicy the ginger is, the taste of the ginger. So if you take ginger juice, again, it will be very helpful. Another thing is the moon. The moon is about the lungs, and the moon is about people's overall body condition, overall health. And the moon is also about the lungs as well. And of course, first of all, the immune system. So lemon, la moon, the lemon is ruled by the moon. So lemon, ginger, a very also wonderful is to take the black seed oil. The measurements of the intake of black seed oil, I think, were 1 teaspoon in the morning with the juice and honey. And this is amazing support of the people's immune system that very much respond to the cause of this outburst of the disease, which is Saturn, Pluto, and the moon. So when we know the astrological cause of every disease, we can find the astrologically also the treatment and the astrological herbs. And I can tell you these are the most effective treatments according to my experience. When you know which planet is causing the disease, you find the herb which is healing the disease. So as you can see, I'm sure there are many measures, many ways to help ourselves. I'm giving you a few which I personally know, which I use for years, which sound quite effective and which are mentioned in the ancient literature. Of course, you can find many more. I'm just giving you my perspective. And of course, let's not forget, whatever is happening in the universe is perfect, because it has the only purpose and meaning to teach us something, to support our spirituality, to help us, our connection with God, and everything which is taking place in the universe is allowed by the Creator for one or another reason, which we will never find out. So this was my brief communication with you, just to give you some hope that actually whatever comes, everything is perfect. When we approach the universe as perfect, then we will be able to find solution for everything. So let me close with this. I wish you healthy, good week, and see you next time.